My name is Theodore Cottingham with the School of Me, and I'm teaching this day on prayer. If you want to know God, if you want to know who you really are, if you want to learn to let God teach you who you are, if you want to experience the love of God in intimacy, ways of power, joy, you must learn to pray. If you're not willing to pray, pray, and I will define prayer. If you're not willing to pray an hour a day, you're not serious about God. You don't know God. You don't know how to pray. You're ignorant, apathetic, or something is missing. So I'm addressing this from the point, not for you to know how to pray. I was thinking before I began this recording, I'm not willing to teach you to have the information. I'm willing to teach you for you to do it, for you to act, for you to initiate, for you to explore, and quit being beggars, wanting crumbs from a rich man's table. Crumbs of revelation, crumbs of dollars from some company to pay your light bill. So I make no effort at cajoling you or persuading you to pray, persuading you that I'm right, persuading you of anything. I am presenting. I am sharing with you my heart. But I say from the outset, I say to you, I share all these things day after day. I make these videos, have over 1,000 videos online for you to learn, not just to learn, but to experience the presence of God, to learn the God that I know, the God that will talk with you, the God that will kiss you inside with a depth of meaning and heaven beyond words, and is willing to come to you wherever you are, no matter what you call God. Realize God is not fragile, and God is not limited to your words. And your words matter. Your words are material and significant, but they are not all-encompassing. God knows who you're trying to communicate with, no matter what name you use for God. Whether you call God a woman or a man, whether you call it non-gendered, with human form or not. When you begin to open your heart to learn to pray and communicate with God, you will begin to learn that God is not silent and never has been. God has not removed God from you. God is still in the temple of God. The temple of God is not made with hands. There's no house of God made with hands that's the house of God. There are many buildings, and there are many claims of ignorant people who make declarations that certain structures are a house of God. I defeat that theory. The house of God is the temple of God, not made with hands. And my friends, it's between your ears. And God has never left. And as you begin to know God more and more, you begin to know you more and more. You begin to learn things you've never known. See, if you don't know how to pray an hour a day, I suggest you don't know how to pray. And if that offends you, you're arrogant. Am I too direct? We must grow up. As I've walked this path, I've said often, I've been writing the first person words of God almost daily for 21 years. And before that, I went to a chapel not far from my home to pray an hour a day from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. on weekdays. I didn't make it every day, but that was my custom. And it became a priority to me. And that's where maybe my prayer life began to have a life. But it began something in October of '88 when I made a decision. I made a commitment. I heard a Christian evangelist say, if you will spend an hour a day with God for 1 year, it will change your life. And somehow, even though he was saying that to another individual, I overheard it and I took it to heart. And I began to ponder that. And I decided, I'm going to find out. So I began. And boy, getting up, I wasn't used to getting up early enough to get dressed and get down to the chapel by 6:30. So many times I was late. And there were times I had other appointments right after that. And even if I had only 5 minutes there, I would try to go and show up. I began to make it a priority. So often, since we think we know how to talk, we think we know how to pray. We hear other people utter a few 1 or 2 sentence prayers. We look in the book of prayer. We look in the Bible for a few prayers. But we limp along. We never develop two-way communication with what we may say we're devoting our life to. And I suggest to you, there's just so much more. There's so much more love to be known, interacted with, communicated with, and taught by for you to be it. So many people have an insatiable thirst for knowledge. They want to know how. How. And then whether they gloat in that knowledge or not, they become complacent. They may even have a few experiences with God, but so many plateau. They have some experience and decide, oh my God, that's it. This is it. This is what I've been seeking. And their motivation goes to hell. They think they've arrived in some manner, some way. Diversions come. Friends make fun of you. Spouses don't understand so often. Resist you. Even pastors, preachers can ridicule you. I know. But I'm here not to talk about the trials at this moment. If you want to know God, know God intimately, interact with God. God, the creator, the master, designer, him, her, one, whether you believe in a Trinity or not, no matter what you call your religion of choice, as long as you don't let your religion stand between you and God, where you begin to come as a little child, instead of coming simply always telling God what you want God to do for you, or how you want God to affirm you, answer you, confirm you, heal you. I suggest you'll begin to get not only answers, but you'll begin a communion that's unlike anything you've ever known. Because this communication is inside of you. It's within you. And I suggest to you, the voice of God that you want to hear, that so many are so desperate to hear, seldom comes in syllables. It seldom comes like we think it should, because we've been ignorant. We haven't grown up. We haven't sought to mature in the knowledge of God, with the intimacy of God teaching us directly. And this, my friends, is why I'm sharing this. And I share so many things that I do and say. It's not for you to know what I'm sharing. It's for you to come into the holy place. Learn to drink for yourself. Grow up. Mature. If you begin to know God, you begin to arise in leadership. And if you advance much in God, you have to overcome being a wimp. You must overcome the idea that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I say unto you, that is foolishness. Perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love is not given. Perfect love is grown day by day. Perfect love begins to preempt fear. Perfect love begins to commune with perfect love that communes and communicates perfectly. And we must learn the language. And the language is not some kind of babbling tongue. It's the language that transcends our native tongue. The language of love, I'm going to call it the energy of love, the energy of God, the presence of God. You see, so often we find what we're looking for. And if we're looking for God in a certain place, in a certain way, prescribing how we want God to communicate and what we want from God, it's kind of limiting. And friends, God is the most humble of all. There is no arrogance whatsoever in God of love. The God I know, the God I'm talking about, the God I'm talking about learning to pray with, who you can learn to interact with, where you begin to actually hear, receive, interpret, learn from words in a stream that you may sit down and write for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, page after page, in a manner so that after you do so, it's almost like reeling and saying, oh my gosh, that was an hour? I wrote for an hour? What did I write? Because you did not force your consciousness to control that flow. There is a surrender as a child. When I said I've written the first person words of God for 21 years, these first 2,400 messages I wrote are online. You can search them. I've given you the website many times. God even began to deal with me about a referencing system, how to reference them, always dating them, numbering the pages and the paragraphs. God cares about organization and what you do with the knowledge you have. And to whom has much, more will be given. When you're willing to pick up your pen, when you're willing to pray with a yellow tablet in your hand, when you're willing to not prescribe that God only speaks to you according to your Bible or what you think the Bible says, when you're willing to come as a student, when you're willing to come to let the teacher teach you, when you're coming to realize the lover within, the light, and realize the light will not condemn you. So often when people talk about God or prayer or knowing God, they vomit out the word judge, judgment, judge this, judge that, God of judgment and wrath and vengeance and all sorts of things. That's not the God I know. There's a God painted by Christianity. There's a God painted by many holy books. Let me tell you, That is not the God I teach about. No matter whether you think there's only one or not, I've discussed many aspects of this in my recordings. But if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to explore, and not be wimpy, not be afraid, be willing to realize if you ask God for a fish, will God give you a stone? Will she judge you, condemn you, curse you? Will you let what God is correct you? This is what it's about. It's not just for information. It's to operationalize the information. Where you walk it out, where you live it. And it's a love relationship. Two lovers becoming more and more intimate, not withholding your body from each other, not withholding your mind from each other, not withholding anything from each other. Where you begin to understand wooing God. And if you begin wooing God in a totality of surrender, that you must learn to grow. It's not instantaneous. If you're willing to learn to surrender, to grow into the leadership of becoming as a little child, you will begin to experience God wooing you. You will begin to feel things where you were dead. You will begin to have your flesh wounds, word wounds of so many people that you have grown up with that haven't understood you. Maybe that perpetrated acts of violence against you, abused you, whatever. When you're willing to come into the holy place of surrender, and not keep God out, but woo God, you'll find God is there. And God will teach. But it seems to me like first, in one sense, when you come to God as a child, God comes as a child to you. This is where we begin to learn to value each other's presence, not just wanting a quick answer. This is about life more abundantly, life without fools intervening to try to blind us with their ignorance. In some of the words I've written, God repeatedly said, make me bigger in their eyes. Make me bigger in their eyes. Help them know. Let them know. I will teach them every day, just like manna from heaven, where I come with daily instructions, daily love, daily life, with a presence of joy. Pardon me. A presence of healing. Will you come? Will you come as Esther did? Will you come and intercede for your people? Will you intercede for those who don't have enough to eat? Who will you care for? You see, why do you pray? Why do you want to learn to pray? Motive. Motive is all important. Motive is more important than the words you say. We can say God looks on the heart, but this is about the interaction beneath the words, beneath beliefs. I'm talking about coming into a point where you're no more toying with God. You're no more approaching God with a religious attitude or a religious stance. You're no more concerned with somebody that says, you can't come behind the chancel rail. You go out of the pig pen where they want to draw a curtain and be in the holy place and monk with bread and wine and come back and say, it's transubstantiation time. And now drink the body and blood of Jesus. Phooey. Let me tell you, the blind leading the blind can die out if they want to. But this is the revelation of God, revealing God to all the creation of God, to come to God, to know the mind of God, to create the consciousness of God, to conceive the God seed in you day by day this way. We have been lacking in motivation. We have been abundant in ignorance. And we have been taught to fear. Beware of false teachers. We've been taught to depend on the authorities that proclaimed, the Word of God is in a book. It'll never be added to, and God is silent. So come listen to the authorized people teach you. And this is what this means, and this is what this means. And I'm telling you, that day is over, and those foundations crumble. Pardon me. And the common people arise now. Common people. The people that those leaders haven't valued. The common people who sacrificed to tithe because they thought it would please God. I'm telling you, forget pleasing God. And if you're praying to a God you want to please, we're praying to different gods. I learned a God that had no condemnation for me, but only pure light love, whose presence I began to learn and often would cry. And my tears have dropped off my face many times as I wrote the words on yellow tablets that I was receiving, experiencing an intimacy that I'm sharing with you, trying to give you the picture of something greater than maybe what you've ever learned in church or at someone else's knee. There's more. There is an intimacy. If you're willing to woo as a lover, where you begin to come and you begin to love actively, with love, with a diligence of love, with a consistency of love, with a desire, where you begin to speak, God, I want to know you. I said many, many, many times, as I began to get more and more serious about knowing God, I said, God, I want to know you. And I literally said, I beg you. And I did. I begged. I got on my knees. I laid on the floors for hours at a time, many times in different places. I was serious. I learned to pour out my heart. I learned to talk to God about my pain, about my ignorance, about what I was perplexed about, and listen and ask and not just monologue. I don't like to be with people that talk all the time. I love being with people who are curious, who are learned, who have some skill in conversation, and have an exchange. An exchange of words is an exchange of energy that creates a consciousness. I've learned a tremendous amount from my kids as they were growing up and now as adults. I love to meet people. I learn from them. I ask questions. Coming into the knowledge of God is not automatic. Maturity does not occur through the years. Maturity begins to occur with the consistent intent to learn, to advance, to grow up, to mature, and not be so guarded, to always be protecting your Bible or what you think is a holy book, or abide by the rules that someone has given you. Rules are for beginners. Rules are for the ignorant. Just like a speed limit, most of the time, people who are really knowledgeable drivers they don't need that. They can perceive. They can perceive what is safe and what is not. But you see, I'm encouraging you trying to paint a bigger picture that God may be a whole lot more personal than you may have let God be. I am not talking about your God if your God is the God of wrath, vengeance, and judgment, slaughter, impertinent, impatient, arrogant. That's not my God. And you can serve that God. Because if you believe That's what God is. That's what you serve, because you serve your beliefs. Or are you willing to commune? Are you willing to learn not to take communion from some authorized person in a robe, but a child? Are you willing to wash the feet of your kids and ask forgiveness for how you've taught them in the past that they needed to do this, that, and the other a certain way because you believed it, and now you're learning something different? I have. I did. Several times. Yeah, I did. I asked my family to go to the living room, and I went and got a bowl of water and a towel, and they let me. And I asked them. They respected me, and I told them what I was doing and why. Will you wash God's feet? Will you take time? Will you not rush it? Will you set aside an hour? Will you come with pen in hand? When I started, one of the most common prayers I began to pray, God, here I am. Because I didn't know what else to say. So I might say it 20 times, and then I would just wait. And I might say it 10 more, and I would just wait. It's okay. You see, you're not coming to God as an expert. You're not coming to God with your three-piece suit on. You're coming naked. Naked of all pretense, naked of all belief, naked of everything you've done and not done. I'm talking about coming into communion where you come without any headdress, where you just come, say, here I am. I'm willing to learn. I want to know you. I want to know your voice. And be willing to write. This is a learning, an educational process. I'm speaking of education. In an accelerated method. As God begins to exchange consciousness, you give God your conscious ignorance, and God gives you pristine, pure, perfect light, peace. It's a lot more than a meal. It's the substance of creation. It's the substance of creating a new life within you, creating information for action, not to be stored in your closet or hidden under a bushel. This is about leadership. This is about arising out of the ashes of the dung heap of our wounds and our beliefs that have incarcerated us. And kept us wanting crumbs, 3-point sermons, good worship leaders. We want better music. It should be louder. It should be softer. It should be this, that, or the other. We must grow up. Coming as a little child to God, learning to pray, learning to receive, learning to be who you are. Not just seeking emotional hype, entertainment, no matter what we've called it. And I've had some very wonderful experiences. But why do they seem to be so fleeting? We have a great experience, and we walk right back into the war with ourselves, trying to make a living. I suggest to you, you must learn, and I suggest to you, you can learn to, in fact, woo and to love, and to let love flow from you, through you, and God flowing to you, through you, in an exchange that creates the tree of life within you anew. The tree of life, your neuronal structure. I've been sharing about prayer now for about 2/3 of an hour to encourage you to begin to not just ponder, but to be in motion, to set aside time, to come with pen in hand, yellow tablet, and let what God is begin to commune with you. When you begin to value what you receive enough to write it, value it enough to write it, date it, organize it, reread it, ponder it, and ask questions about it, it becomes substantive in a way that allows exponentiation. It becomes an accelerated learning system. It becomes a time that you look forward to rather than dreading. Your hour with God can go like that. And sometimes that hour may go very slow, very slowly. But it's okay. Be not denied. Let no one rob you of your birthright to know God intimately and let God teach you directly. That's my message to you this day. I will share more. And I have much online about prayer. My website is now theschoolofme.com. And when you want to be the real you that's not programmed by anyone else, when you want to do the things that Jesus did, just as Jesus said in John 14:12. Jesus said, if you believe in me, you'll do the things that I do and greater. If you want to learn to do those things, you must be taught by God directly. You must learn to grow up. You must learn to receive, to write, to become the experience of transforming yourself into a new creation. See, it's not just about information, it's about transformation. It's not just about knowing God. It's about becoming God's friend. It's about becoming equal with God. Remember, Jesus thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Remember the prodigal son coming home. He was not condemned for squandering everything. There was no retribution. There was no vengeance. There was no disdain. There was complete, perfect love displayed. And perfect love displayed in you will change you. It creates a consciousness. The seed of these words that you begin to receive in prayer, you'll begin to realize, just as Jesus taught, the word is the seed. Remember the parable? The word is the seed, the living word, the word that comes to you, that you allow to come through you, the word that you become willing to speak, write, teach, record, share. I suggest many people are waiting on your words of love, your words of acceptance, your words of encouragement, your words of telling them they're not an accident. They're not a result of some sexual act. There's no such thing as a bastard in the kingdom of heaven, or anyone unloved or unworthy. When you begin to know God, the God that I know, the God that I talk about over and over, that is not the God of wrath, vengeance, and judgment, slaughter, performance, that wants you to keep the rules. No. My son, my daughter, there's nothing they can do or say that would sever my love, my complete love. So there's so much waiting on us. We have been taught to wait on God. Wait on God, and wait on Jesus to come back. God is waiting on us. I'm compelling you, I exhort you. Come to the website, theschoolofgod.com. Begin to investigate, explore. Begin an adventure with God in prayer. See if what I'm saying is true. Find out for yourself. Will you pray an hour a day for a year? If you do it for 3 months, it'll change your life. What I'm talking about. Where you don't put up any guard. You don't give God any pushback. You don't make God conform to your wants and wishes, or your belief system, or your religion. And God will begin to speak. And if you begin to write, the more you write, the more you'll get, the more you'll receive. You see, in sharing with you what's available to you, God will teach you. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what your name for God is. Here. And when I talk about God teaching you, look at the day I wrote this was April 28th, 2003. The reason I know this? Because by this time, I'd communed with God enough, and God told me, value, write, number every page, date every page. So I did. This is 1.1.7. That's the reference system. Database 1, Volume 1, Lesson 7. I'll share with you some of what God gave me, the first person words of God. The first person words of God will teach you if you will learn to let God teach you. Not prescribing how, but writing the stream of energy of love. This particular morning, I was in a certain chapel. And this is the way it started. I didn't call you to join here. I called you to pray here. You need to understand some things deeply about my people. My people are diverse and cross a wide spectrum. I don't think like you. I don't think like man. I am God and I have my ways, and I'll impart my ways to anyone and everyone that will seek to know me for who I am, and not just what I can do for them. Motive is all important. You know that I've spoken to you about this in the past. Motive, motive, motive. The motives of your heart are your rudder. Your motives will guide you. For what you call motive, I call, in your language, the heart of your heart. There are layers to your soul, and the inmost that comes out in your behavior is your motive. The inmost is your motive. Your motive. This is paragraph 3. I like you. Imagine God saying that to you. I like you. I like you to write down what I say to you. You are uninhibited now to move forth and tell, share, impart who I am and how I operate. 4. I am God who judges motives. Behavior is important, but behavior comes out of motive. Behavior comes out of that which you cannot put words to, that is in you, that becomes your operating system. Your operating system, yes, that's a good way to share what I'm telling you. Your operating system, Ted, is of me. That's why I'm giving you this. You care, and you care enough to come, and you care enough to write, and you care enough to share. Share these words and what I am doing with you. 6. Be not discouraged. Be not discouraged like you were this morning, for I am God, and I have all things in my hands. I have systems. You know that. And I listen. I listened for the heart that reaches out to me, to please me, to know me, to go beyond themselves into the realm of what I have for them. They shall see, so many shall see from your hand and your writings, even as you write on these yellow pads. You have no idea and cannot comprehend what I will do with your words and where I will take them. You don't own them. I do. And I appreciate you knowing that like you do, and how you have tried to obey me with them instead of holding on to them for your own selfish profit. I, the Lord God, will profit you. I am God, and I am your source, and I will provide, and I will profit you, and you shall see. Now, please don't be discouraged. I want you to cry, but not tears of discouragement and despair, and certainly not over money. You know that, Ted, and not over any relationship. I am me, and you are mine, and I will guide, and I will provide. Now God's addressing a subject that I've addressed with God many times. 9, you're right. Worship does not pay the bills. Obedience pays the bills. You finally got it. You're right. Obedience flows from me in the heart that seeks me and worships me. So you were on the right track and knew it. That's why you have pursued it, and at such a cost. But you shall be repaid so very well. Now take my message. Take the message of my heart that you now have. Tell them I want to bless them and provide for them like I want to provide for them, which is so far above what they want to provide for themselves. But to reach that realm where I provide a ram in the thicket, where I provide the manna daily, they must know me. They must come as you have come, Ted. They must come, and they must come consistently into my presence, naked of all pretense and pomp and whatever they think they are. They must come, Ted, naked in spirit, naked in their heart, naked in their motive, and let me operate on them like I want to operate, where I touch, where I heal, where I give them new birth and nurturing so they can grow in me rather than just grow in the ways of mammon, money, and things of this world, this temporal world, this world that I made, that I set up, that I established long ago to see who would seek me, believe in me, and pay a price to know me and be my friend. Now go, Ted. You're not perfect, and you know that. And when the imperfections come, be not dismayed. You are a human, you are a man, and make no excuses for them, but learn from me and learn from those that rebuke you in love, who truly love you and my kingdom and what I'm about and where I'm taking you. Think it not strange that some will rebuke you, for I use those in my body to protect, help, bless, and speak to others in my body. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. So many do things for me, but do them without wisdom. Now know that wisdom is with you, and the more you know me, the more you know wisdom. Love wisdom, love wisdom, love her with all your heart, and know that wisdom wants your wisdom to increase. Listen to those that I have given you, and think not that every word you need comes from me, from my throne, from my heart to you. For I love my body, and I speak to my body, and I speak through my body. The body needs the body, and every part of the body is needed and designed and fashioned for a purpose, however unique or unnecessary in your eyes. Ted, don't think small. I am big, and you must think bigger than denominations and doctrines of men. You must listen to me. Listen to wisdom, and listen to those I send you, and honor them. Honor them even if they curse you. For those that curse you only fail to understand me and how I am and what I'm trying to get myself across, known more to my people. Imagine writing this. I had no precedent whatsoever for what I began to experience, the flow of God teaching me directly like this. There's several more pages. You see what I mean about God talking with you in a stream? Coming to God, sitting down with a yellow tablet and a pen and taking time. You can't edit. If you're willing to write the first person words of God, so that God can teach you all things directly. Write the stream. There were times that I would be writing, and just all of a sudden, I would think about how radical or how opposite something I was writing was to what I have believed most of my life. And if I stopped and gave thought to that thought, if I gave energy to that thought, if I gave moments of time to thinking about, is this right? Am I okay? The flow stopped. And very rarely did the flow restart when I tried to get my mind back on what was being given to me. Right. Don't edit. Right. Right surrenderedly, but right. And when you're done, you'll know it. And you can reread it. And you can decide. And you can inquire of God about what you've written. And begin to ask about it, to begin to understand it. Verse 18. I call my people, and I'm calling them more and more, and even with a louder voice. They need me, and they will need me more. Everything will be shaken, and I will shake it. I will shake it. My prophecies are true. My word is true, and I will shake it. No one has seen what I will do and what will come in the years ahead. I am me, and I will move, and I will shake, and I will do what I want to do, and I will see who will pay the cost to know me in time and worship and obedience, in buying groceries for others, for encouraging and setting others free, and even rebuking. When I say rebuke, tough skin, Ted, tender. But tough is not an oxymoron. It is one and the same, with wisdom knowing the difference. You must know the difference, and you must know it more. Don't be tripped up by little things and things you can't change and people you don't understand. You must be you and let me be me, and leave them to me. You're right to focus on me first. For that is when I really begin to move in a person's life in a visible and an even spectacular way. When they want me enough to put me first in front of their schedule and their honoring of money and people that will bring them money, then I will honor them. Now tell them, and keep on telling them. And I will keep on telling you this. Tell them every day. Tell them every way you can. Tell them, be creative. Call on me more to be creative in how I use you to what I want done. For you have entered into another realm. You have entered into my mission rather than your mission. You have entered into that which I designed for you, and you shall see it. You shall see all of it. You shall see all that I have designed for you and given to you. For you have come to my table to get it. Now tell them who I am, and tell them of your picture and how you prayed and what that picture said, and how I am now simply giving you what you prayed, what you said and wanted so long ago. It's now, Ted. Stand up and take your place, and be not intimidated by those who want to put you to silence. You will know the difference between those who want to silence you and control you and those who come to you in pure love, my love, to rebuke and correct and bring light to something you fail to see, grasp, or understand. This is a great truth, Ted. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. For if you are above being corrected by the people I send you that are my body and blood, that love you, that operate with motives of love and freedom, I can't use you like I want to. You must mature. You must continue to mature and bring maturity to your walk with me and to the walk of my body with me. Now tell them to love me more and spend time with me. And I, the Lord their God, will reward them, for I am God, and I will do what I want to do. Tell them. Wars and rumors of wars will come, but I give peace. I provide peace. I provide a safe haven for those who will come and learn of me at my feet, and let me impart to them my strength. No fear, no fear, no fear. Tell them to come to me like you have come to me, on their face, naked of all the past, and all that you have done, and all that you have not done. Naked of all the sins and omissions and shortcomings, and all that now is forgotten. Naked. Tell them they must come to me naked in their spirit, withholding nothing, and I will give them peace. I will give them what they want. I will give my people what they seek, but they must come. They must call upon my name and call upon me with no preconceived notions of how I will do what I want to do. You are right, Ted. You are right in praying more and more that my will be enacted in given situations, relationships, and circumstances. I am me, and I have a will. You have a will. They have a will. And if they pray their will into situations, relationships, and people, circumstances, they get what they think they want. Maybe. But where is my will? Where is my will to them? Why aren't they praying my will into those people and those things? Tell them, lead them. Be not afraid of honor, Ted, when I honor you. I honor you, and you must not shrink back. There are many I have called to leadership who will not lead, for they do not know how to handle honor when it comes. Listen, Ted, you're listening. Listen to me more, deeper, more intensely with your spirit, your present and your future, and know that you will be honored, and you will honor me. I will honor you as long as you honor me. Now honor me more. Tell me more. Tell of me more. Be not afraid of momentary honor that people give you. For they are looking for leadership, and they are looking for people that will turn them to me. Shrink not back from what I have given you and what I have for you. Don't be concerned about people reading this or reading anything I have given you. If they have a problem with it, they should bring their problem with it to me first. Those mature in me know that already. Only the immature are quick to criticize and tear down that which often I am using to open their eyes. So go talk and tell them of me and how I want to sit with them and their open-eyed, naked heart before me, with even a tablet or paper or whatever they have to capture what I give them, so they can be nurtured by it afterward and use it to nurture others. Reproduce, Ted? Yes, that is from me as well. Many of these things answer questions that I ask. I want you to reproduce that passion you have for me and everyone. And the places in your life that are not as you think they should be, let me work on those, and you move forward. You are now without excuse to move forth in that which I have given you. Move forth and be not disappointed in the years to come. Be entrepreneurial. Be creative. Be forthright with exactly who and what you are with everyone. Let it be known, be known, be known, Ted. Your day is now. Your day is today. Even this meeting tonight with those who are there, I ordained and brought forth, and they shall see me, and they shall know me, and they shall be transformed forevermore if they let me, if they receive my words and my ways. Verse 39. I promise, Ted, I will strike you down if you don't honor me, for I will give honor to those who honor me, and I have great honor for you have great honor for me. Now remember these words, as long as you live, and always remember to honor me. You will be tested in this, for you are flesh, and all flesh deals with this. All who are raised up as those who will put me first are tested in this. That's why I have brought you much knowledge of people past in this area. This is why I'm telling you now to receive these people who come to you years from now, who come to you in love, who come in deep love for you, for me, and tell you that you are wrong, that you are off, that you are missing me somewhere, for you are flesh and not perfect. Ted, I use my body. I use my body and I speak to my people, and I speak to my people to speak to my people. That is what every joint together means. Everyone needs others, and those I bring to them. Now tell the leaders they must learn of me more, and they must learn from those they lead more, and they must learn from those I bring them. Even the ones the evil one they will learn from, but not obey or heed their recommendation. Wisdom is ever present. Call on wisdom more for wisdom. Wisdom will preserve you and protect you and promote you and propel you into peace. Let no one rob you. Let no one rob your peace. except me when I'm trying to get your attention. Come to me, and I will give you discernment, and I will speak, teach, train, and mature you. As you come, keep on coming like you have been and more. Now go. Don't be afraid of man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything or anyone except not hearing my voice. Fear me only, and you will go, and you will go in power. Don't be afraid of anything except me withdrawing my power. Now tell them, and be not ashamed of me, and be not ashamed of being abased or being honored by kings. You're mine, Ted, and tell them. Tell my body that they are mine. Tell them I bought them with a price, with the blood of Jesus, my son and precious son, my precious son. Tell them and type this out, send it out today, who will listen and open their hearts to me like never before. Tell them I want to talk with them just like I'm talking with you right now. I am God. I want to be known to my people. I want people to know who I am and how I operate and how I love. I dearly love to talk with my people. So many people think I don't speak. They think I'm dumb or dead. Oh, if they only knew, if they would only take time with me. Do I cast my pearls before swine that come to my table in a hurry only to taste the choicest meat of this world and then run off without even talking to me? Come now, is that even reasonable? I have my table spread, and the imagery is correct. My table is spread, and I am on the table. I am at the table. I am me. And I want to be with you, and all those you will bring me. I want them to be at my table to learn of me and eat my bread and enjoy my meat and enjoy who I am and what I have done for them and what I have given them. I want them, please tell them of me and how I love them and how I want to hear their voice and how I want to be their friend. Did I not create friendship? Yes, I created it. I created relationship. I created words and communication and hearts and spirits and motives which combine to make up a man, a woman, a boy, a girl. I cause them to grow. I cause them to need each other and need people, need to talk, need to listen, need to give and receive from each other, blessing, praising, nurturing each other to the fullness of growth. Now, grow, Ted, and take many with you as you grow in me. Now go grow. Grow taller, taller, taller in me. Grow, and I will give you all you need and more than you want. But come to me. Come to me alone. Come to me with others. Come to me in crowds and in writing. Continue to come, and I will continue to give you the desires of your heart. Let them know. Let everyone know that comes in contact with you about how you write and what I say and how much I want to know them and how much I want them to know me and be their provider, protector. Thank you, Ted, for writing this. Tell everyone how I speak to you so respectfully, so tenderly, so lovingly, with so much kindness and honor. Tell them, that's how you speak to me. Tell them, Ted, stand up, lead. Take your place in this dispensation where I am making myself known to my people, every hungry heart, like never before in the history of man, the history of civilization, the history of this world. This, Ted, is what the first chapter of my book speaks of, the liberation of the common man. I gave that to you. You added some paragraphs of explanation as appropriate, but that is from me. This is a new day, a new level of liberation, freedom to be who I've called each one to be. And you are a herald. You are. Now go, wear the mantle I have given you, and tell them of my coming and how I am readying my bride, and how I look forward to gathering my bride in my arms like never before. Tell them, and never be ashamed or afraid of powerful men and women who want to tear you down. I am your strength, and I am doing a new thing. Go do it. Take, carry, propel, and nurture all who will listen. Be not afraid of people. I speak. I am God and I speak. I love to speak to those who will listen. You are preparing my people, Ted. You are a forerunner, though you have never called yourself that. You called yourself a herald once in print, and both are correct. Now go and shrink not back from what I have given you. These words I have given you are truth. Now go be about my business and worry not about the details you can't change or don't know what to do with. I will bring you people. I will bring you money. I will bring you what and who you need to do what I want done now, and done through you. Tell them I await their presence in my chamber. My chamber. Tell them I am inviting them even now, through you and these words, into my closest quarters to sit down with me and talk, ask, speak, listen, and even write. Tell them I want to know them. I want to be me, and I want to be known. And I don't want to be misrepresented by so many who speak for me and don't know me. Tell them. And the friends I bring you will cross all boundaries. They will cross every line of your past thinking. Embrace them. Embrace the young and the old, the rich and the poor, the beggars and the kings and queens and ambassadors, the heads of state, the countries, nations, and even coalitions of things yet unseen. I order the steps of those who will let me order them. And that's why I'm using you. I'm using you now, Ted. I'm using you because you said you want me. You want me to. And you have given me permission repeatedly to take you and do with you whatever I want. You have prayed for correction repeatedly. You have prayed that I would discipline you, judge you. You have prayed that I would beat you and do whatever I wanted to, just so you wouldn't be deceived. You have come and presented yourself, and now, and more so, I present myself to you. This is love, Ted. This is where we give of ourselves so lovingly, so freely, so unreservedly. Lovers. Tell them. Do your best to convey to them what you feel, even as you write this with tears in your eyes and your heart full of my presence. Tell them. Give them the word I gave you on June 6th of 2002, and tell them to be lovers of me. Not just lovers of me, but lovers with me. Tell them it is possible and permissible. It is now that I invite all who will hear your words to come into my chambers and experience my love like you have. And Ted, I have so much more. You shall see and you shall experience and you shall tell. Remember, Ted, how people came to you and prophesied that you would have many spiritual children back in 1995, 6, and 7. All that was me, Ted, and you will see them. You will see them, for you will point them to me. Oh, you honor my word. You honor my words. Now go and grow and honor me and those that I bring you, and all who will hear my words, even those who will not hear my words and reject you and me. Honor. I operate with honor and truth. Tell them to work out their salvation, their relationship, with fear and trembling, not through any other man or woman, and I will give them beauty, splendor, and let them taste of majesty that they cannot imagine. What I have prepared for them will awe them and propel them. Teach them, and call my ministers to pray and to know me and share my words with those they lead, like I'm sharing with you, and you're sharing with them. And tell them to never be above rebuke by those in love and my love. Tell them to bring to me every word of both honor and rebuke, and give those words to me. Be not wounded by words. Be wounded only for me. I will speak, I will correct, and I will judge. I look forward to you being with me, Ted. I look forward to you putting your arm around my shoulder and hugging me and telling me you love me. I look forward to you walking beside me down the paths I have prepared for you, both in earth and in heaven. I look forward to sitting down and answering your questions about scriptures and your family and the things in your heart that you have told me you want to know. I look forward, Ted, to introducing you to David and Abraham, Moses, Joseph, and those you have spoken to me about and others as the one I have chosen because you have chosen me. I like your touch. I love your touch. Just to touch your hand, your arm, your side, your shoulder, your head, your back. I love your touch. I love the way you touch me when we talk. And I look forward to when you touch me in person when we walk and talk. Enoch is in my word for a reason. Enoch is in my word for all who will accept what I have provided. Enoch is in my word for all who will come to my table to drink my cup and eat my meat. I love your tears. I love your response when I touch you. I will touch you more. I will come to you more, and I will answer more of your questions, for you have grasped the relationship, the kind of relationship I want with my people. Now grow, 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 and nourish all those around you who will listen. Put my words everywhere. Put them on the internet. Keep mailing them, and don't be concerned with those who don't want them. It's okay. I'll be me, and you be you. I will grow, and you will grow. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for writing. Thank you for bearing no pretense, opening yourself totally to me to take and use how I will, how I want to. Spawn a new generation. Spawn an entirely new generation, a flood of people who seek me for who I am so I can speak like this and more. I will take care of your taxes. I will take care of the relationships that concern you. I will take care of what concerns you. I am your provider, your father, your king, your friend. Now go grow and grow others and teach them. Do you think I want to go now? Do you? Or do you think I want to keep talking to you, with you, and continue to discuss these things, details, and other subjects that you can get on paper for others as well as yourself? You know me. You're getting to know me, and you're right. I would give you more. I will give you more. I don't choose to stop with my people. They choose to stop. Tell them, don't stop. Fear me, but don't fear me. Explain that to them. Most will understand. Bring more tablets. Keep typing my words, and I will keep speaking. Now go and grow and be happy, for I have provided much for you, Dad. That is what I wrote when I speak about writing the first-person words of God. This is what I am talking about. All this that I read, and even a few paragraphs I didn't. I wrote. This was the 7th lesson. This was April 28th, 21 years ago. This is why I'm teaching. This is why I'm talking. This is why I'm making this video. This is why I make these little short videos to connect with people and let them know. Let them know there's a school of God where God teaches directly, where God will talk with you, where you can come and meet God at a table of one and commune and experience healing as never imagined. Certainly as I never heard of, read, or was taught of. There's a table set before you. And it's not like the pictures or the images that we've been given. The time is now. There are people, you may be desperate enough to not just hear, not just seek to understand, but you're ready to lead. You no longer fear the voice of man. You're no longer afraid of God. You're ready to come into the holy place and listen and let God teach you where you begin to write like this and more. I hope so. I bless you. I honor you. I'm a simple guy. I'm a common, ordinary guy. The path is not easy, but the door is light. You are the light of the world. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And connecting with this voice within you is the voice of the real you. The energy of God is not off somewhere else. God will teach you all things. And you can learn to begin doing all the things Jesus did and more. Just as he said, if you will believe in me, you will do the works that I do and greater. So, my friend, I love you. This recording, my goodness, almost an hour and a half. I love you. I honor you. Let love teach you how to love, what to ask, and how to listen. For I am but an instructor, a pointer of the way. This is for you to grow. This is for you to enter your kingdom that's no longer a thorn in your brow. This is for you to grow the crown of life. Anoint you to do it. No one else is responsible for you. No one else is coming to bail you out. You are responsible for you. And I pray to you that you judge you worthy to listen, to hear, to come into the holy place and become one. Okay, thank you for listening. On the web at The School of God. No, I changed it. On the web, The School of God, theschoolofme.com. That's my primary site now. theschoolofme.com. Become the real me that you are, that God is. The energy, the consciousness of no other. Healing the mind. Yours first. God healing God again. The regeneration is here, folks, and this is the time. All these words, 2,400 messages are word searchable, phrase searchable on the internet at uoflight.org, the letter U. And the link to that is on the school website at theschoolofme.com. Thank you again for listening and sharing and being people of action, light, and love. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you. Pick up your pen and write me. You can write me, moi, Box 34 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I love you all. Good day. Please subscribe if you will. And I thank you. Good day.